write it. Joe will write it.
Welcome to the Dallas Cowboys UNcovered. My name is Alex at Dynasty FK.
I'm Big D, Cowboys fan David on Twitter.
Sports guy Joe, that's Joe Garcia 73.
It's finally here. We made it. The Dallas Cowboys on a precipice of its 65th campaign in franchise history. Today, we're going to talk about, well, guys, look, this is a new show. We're part of the UNdroppables network, and we're covering your Cowboys all season long, so stay locked in right here. We got you covered. But first, we got to pay our respects to the GOAT, Larry Allen. Hey, I went to the Hall of Fame this offseason, got to see the Larry Allen room, and, man, it was awesome.
So Dave and I actually went to his Hall of Fame induction, got to shake the man's hand.
We sure did.
What a great guy.
Yeah, Larry Allen hands.
Greatest player.
Allen hand? Give me an Allen hand. Thank you, big guy.
All right, y'all.
Hey,
Cheers,
we love you.
Larry Allen.
God bless.
Let's get it. All right, so look, guys, hey, we're kicking off the 2024 season. We've been waiting all summer for this, and it's here. I'm ready, man.
I'm in the best shape of my life.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, hey, we just had CeeDee Lamb sign, so we got that out of the way, and I'm expecting some big things from him. You know, he went first overall pick in our draft last night, so, I mean, everybody's counting on this guy to have a huge season. How y'all feel about the Lamb signing?
Joe, what do you think?
I mean, everyone knew it was necessary. He's top one, maybe top two receiver in the league.
Put on 15 pounds of muscle this offseason. So did I.
Yeah.
Woo! I love it. But says he's in the best shape of his life. We hear that from everyone. Put on 15 pounds of body armor. We'll see how that goes. Most people who put on weight before the season lose it by the end. But maybe that's just what he needs to stay intact, keep this guy in bubble wrap. I actually preferred that he sat out while he made this big decision on the contract. It was just posturing. They were always going to get the deal done.
Right.
And we have other money to put on the books. So here we go.
All right. Yeah, man. And look, Dak's working on his contract too. We'll see if he gets signed or not. I think he's going to play no matter what. This guy's the ultimate professional and the leader of the team. So not too worried about him, man.
That is pretty cool. I actually think when you sign your first big money deal, you should get out of training camp or whatever, or make it a priority.
Off that rookie contract.
Right? I don't like seeing these guys risk injury when they're in this kind of a situation. I side with the player in preseason and training camp, but you can't miss real games. I mean, that's what we're all here for. And Dak's obviously going to go out there with an expiring contract this year. He's got the Christmas clauses you could have in that contract, so he can't get tagged again. And Santa's coming for that big man. He's going to get paid.
But has it helped the Cowboys to wait this long, Dave?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, it has not.
But and we got another potential contract issue with Micah Parsons. He was making a little bit of noise. He was kind of the one instigating CeeDee Lamb to get that deal done. And I mean, Parsons, he's still got an extra year left on his deal compared to CeeDee, but I mean, he's one of our best players. So I would call this a contract year for Parsons too, man. Him and Dak.
Yeah. Guess what? That price is only going to go up. A lot of people predicting that he might be the DPOY. You know, they said that Miles got his last year and might be Parsons' turn this year. I hope so. We'll see how that goes.
Zimmer's gonna guide this guy to a hopefully a different outcome at the end of the year, because he has kind of worn down past few seasons at the end of the year. Can't blame the guy. He runs his balls off. You know, he's out there.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is like 110% effort guy. The greatest cliche of all time. But you see it every week. Now, what do we see in the Packers game? I think everybody kind of took that one off.
Yeah.
Let's keep the past in the past for now.
Keep it moving.
Keep looking ahead to this season.
Yeah. So, look, I think he's locked in. Dak's going to be on this team because, look, earlier today, we actually did get some news, even though it's a holiday.
Breaking news from the QB room.
Yeah. Cooper Rush named quarterback 2 by McCarthy. And, look, McCarthy still says he's been encouraged by what he's seen from Trey Lance. Development wise, but I think that's it. You know, Cooper Rush is the main guy, and we'll see if Lance can step in later.
If you're having a bad day, pull up Cooper Rush winning in Minnesota with his parents in the audience. All right, he played like not great the entire game, and in the last 4 minutes, he looked like Joe Montana.
Yeah,
and he threw who had a big highlight in that game. CeeDee Lamb.
Cooper?
CeeDee Lamb. That's what CeeDee Lamb is his behind the back falling away catch to bail a bad Cooper Rush pass out of there. But I am happy for the guy. I don't think the job was really in question, especially as Trey Lance had his Trey Lance preseason. And they're wasting a roster spot on this guy, in my opinion. But it is an experiment. So you're allowed to, I guess, maybe have one experimental guy. He is the third guy. There's zero responsibility on him. Maybe there's some benefit to having a dynamic gunslinger. Those are the best words I can use for this guy. A dynamic gunslinger on your scout team going against your defense every week. With some of these more athletic QBs in the league right now, having a guy that can kind of show that. I'm trying to justify.
He's got some huge upside, and he actually does throw really good deep sideline rainbow ball. I mean, look that up. Look at some of those highlights. He can throw it and kind of simulate some of those deep passes.
That he tends to sail. Right?
He looks exactly like a year 1 or 2 college quarterback. Like he can make read one. That's about it. And then he makes his plays with his legs. He looks like a not from a North Dakota State, like an Ohio State kind of quarterback. Like he looks good in that way, but. Damn, we have to burn a roster spot, and we got to figure out a way if we're going to pay him to keep him around next year.
Let's worry about Dak first, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. All right, so, man, hey, I'm excited, and I think that's kind of a good segue into week 1 because we got that solidified with the QB1, QB2, wide receiver 1 situation, but how about center 1? So, guys, we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns game here, but take a look at this rep from Cooper Beebe real quick. All right, he's in the middle at center. He gets the first block, then the second block.
Boom.
Wow.
On 41 jumping there. Wait, what do you call that, Dave?
We're talking about a double tap.
Double tap.
All
right, watch this double tap. Right in the middle. Then 41 comes around, get him 2. Got him.
Is that a double stack pancake?
It's a double meat, double cheese. That's what that is.
Yeah, so I mean, this guy's a rookie, but having a center you can rely on is so huge.
I'll quote credit Nate Tice for that cut up on that.
Twitter.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that, man. So I'm feeling good about him in that center role, and I'm feeling good about having CD locked into that wide receiver 1 role.
Let's talk about Cooper a little bit more because BB, I mean, not Cooper Rush. We talked about him.
Yeah.
Cooper BB. So he came into the league came to this team to replace Tyler Biotish. Okay, that's a guy who went and got millions of dollars to play for another team. So it's not like anyone who feels bad for him. He had a decent career here. But the differences that we're going to see in this rookie is power. He's got shorter arms, and it's not something I think about too much when I'm watching highlights. But if you look at that highlight again, thinking about it, how he has shorter arms, you can absolutely see that he has shorter arms. But from the center perspective, shorter arms is a non-factor. We grew up watching Stepnoski, centers Costa, a bunch of people who weren't the most athletic guys out there or physically imposing. But the one they found in this draft right here, Cooper Beebe can crush some folks. And we're going to see road grading. We're also going to see it from Tyler Guyton. Maybe we'll talk about him another time or whatever. But Cooper Beebe winning that job over Brock Hoffman, who was just a nobody, an average guy. Glad we have him as a backup. But this crushing has got me gushing.
Yeah. I've got the roster up here right now. So, yeah, you're saying he took over for Brock Hoffman. They haven't updated it here, but, trying to hide it from the Browns.
Yeah, they don't have to show it yet, I guess. But all signs point to Cooper Beebe snapping the ball to Dak Prescott in the first quarter, 3:30 on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it, man. This has been – replacing O-lineman has actually been a pretty easy game for this organization the past decade. Yeah, man.
We got rid of Tyron Smith.
Man.
I was going to say, let's talk about the other rookie on the line.
Yeah.
How about going up against the Defensive Player of the Year in your first NFL game? How about that?
Well, I guess does Chimo Odoga did he get the Myles Garrett flu?
Yeah, we're talking about Tyler Guyton.
Guys used to get the Larry Allen flu.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
We're talking about Tyler Guyton.
Guyton.
So I mean he's impressive. I mean, guy can move, got good feet.
Doesn't have small arms, got big giant arms. He's 6'7".
I haven't seen him lose a single individual battle all preseason, but
it's a lot of pressure to put on him, and I get why people don't want to do that, but dude, if this guy hasn't proved it from what we've seen from him so far in limited action, I mean, this guy is built for this job. I really hope it goes well for the young guy.
I couldn't imagine replacing
dude, Tyron Smith
he
didn't even start at left tackle his rookie year. They put him at right tackle. I think to put Doug Free at left tackle because they wanted to give Tyron Smith coming out. I don't know. I thought he looked better than what Guyton looked like coming out of college. So
he retired Doug Free.
He did retire Doug Free. Hey, we miss you, Free. What was the band called? Free Reign? I miss Free Reign, dude. That's a jam band right there if I ever heard one.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, man. The line's looking good. So that's been one of the Cowboys' strengths, drafting good linemen. So I've got no doubt, and they've got a good track record with Tyler. So let's keep it going. Hopefully Zach Martin can just, his PFF grades have actually been kind of reducing recently, but just give us one more season, Zach. All right, man.
I hope so. I hope he doesn't have injury problems because he's now kind of missed a game or two past couple of years, and he knows how to be tough and go out there and play through stuff. And when he has to sit out, I'm kind of worried he is kind of breaking down a little bit. But, maybe it's a changing of the guard because we saw this team, a decade ago, 2014, have an incredible rushing attack with a stud offensive line. And somehow they have gone through ups and downs. And I think we're back at that level where we've got young guys ready to go. And we've got some old vets that might make the Hall of Fame. That sounds like a good line.
I love it, man. Let's look at some other spots around the team. And we'll stick with offense for now. So look, we talked about Dak, CD. I feel like wide receiver 2 is Brandon Cooks. But wide receiver 3, I still think it's important. Jalen Tolbert, we've been wanting to see him take that step. I've been a big fan of Ryan Flournoy and what he's been doing. Who do you think is the wide receiver 3?
In terms of receptions, I'm going to go Jake Ferguson. But if we're talking about WR, I'm looking at the rookie, to be honest.
All right, Ryan Flournoy. Yeah, man. I like that. And look, let's actually talk about Ferguson because when we're talking about the Browns, Ferguson's going to have a role in the playoffs. I think he might have like a 3 TD game or something like that. Ferguson has a chance to take a big step forward. So I don't even think Peyton Hendershot made the team. Actually,
we traded him.
Yeah,
yeah. I think we all looked at the tight end position last year with Ferg bringing Shoemaker in, Peyton Hendershot. They thought this guy Jeremy Stevens was going to make the roster last year.
Oh, he had the ACL tear.
Year.
He made it this year, and I think that kicked Hendershot off the team. Exactly. Unfortunately, but
so we're stashing Stevens.
I mean, we all remember the Gavin Escobar, also rest in peace. Yeah, remember that Gavin Escobar experience. But the Dalton Schultz, they just brought him in, and he was a day one starter. I think that's what they've done with. I guess Ferg wasn't a day one starter, but he's
technically part of the offensive line, getting it right.
Yeah. All right. I love Ferg, man. He's going to get it done. So let's take a quick. Let's not forget about the defense. Guys. What?
Who's starting running back week 1?
Oh, all right. So, guy, you're right.
Is this our hot take segment? We're talking about the game, right?
Because guess what? The boys are back. Zeke is back.
Dak has his best friend back behind him, handing him the ball off. I mean,
what's Zeke. The biggest
benefits? What do we expect from Zeke?
What are the biggest benefits from Zeke? Number 1,
blocking.
His blocking, which is not a great number 1 thing.
No, it is though.
It's a good number 1 thing
because you got CeeDee Lamb. All we need to do is throw the ball. We're going to be throwing the ball.
I know.
You don't take 0 running backs in the draft and then wait until 2 days ago to get Dalvin Cook. And
well, you can't tie all these things together, but you kind of can because you look at the Cowboys trading their 4th round pick for Trey Lance, and then in the 4th round this year, there were several running backs right there to be taken. And you just know that was when they should have taken one. And instead, we had the Trey Lance experiment, which now, thankfully, I'm not going to go back to Trey Lance, but I will say he is the 3rd running back, so he does not have to count against your active 46 every week.
Okay.
So he can go not taking part or whatever. Sorry, I'm going to justify the Trey Lance experiment here. But from the perspective of what these running backs are going to do. Zeke Elliott is a leader. I do think he's a leader.
Leader on the rock.
He's a big character guy because, I mean, he had an incident or two. And I think the league has a grudge against the Cowboys for some of these egregious
by the way,
things that happened to them from the commissioner's office. But Zeke's a good guy. I like Zeke. I think everybody on the team likes Zeke, and you can tell the coaches like him because they didn't make him play in the preseason. So all that comes together to say this guy's your first line of defense against the blitzing linebacker. So
and guess what? He can block, but the Patriots' number one wide receiver or the number one leader in receptions was Zeke Elliott. This guy can catch. He can still be a running back for us and get something done for us. Like, yes, he's older. No one wants to think he's going to do too much, but at the same time, he was good last year.
He's geriatric for a running back at 29, which is unfortunate, but we got a lot of.
Is this like the Eddie George signing?
What's that?
Is this like the Eddie George signing?
Late in the career.
That might be unfair to Zeke, but he does still have some ability. And what's good is if this line is built to run block, he's got the ability and vision to make a 2-yard run turn into a 4 or 5 yard run. Yep. Does he have the ability to turn a 3 or 4 yard run into a 9 or 10 yard run? I don't know, but they did keep 4 running backs, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so let's take a look at the defense real quick.
Yeah,
because
first of all, the defense has to play Amari Cooper revenge game.
Hey, we've been burying the lead. This is a revenge game for Amari Cooper. And look, guys, we here are upset that we lost Cooper because, look, we didn't have to overpay to extend him. The Browns haven't even overpaid to extend him. They just restructured the contract a little bit, but we could have used Cooper. We could have used the number 2 wide receiver.
He also gives up on the road from time to time. He doesn't. Okay. There was that one incident with the Jets game where he sat out after the first quarter, and everyone. I mean, I booed him loudly from my living room, but there was also the incidents with COVID and the vaccine, everything like that, putting the team at risk. But that's a man's decision to make on their own. The resulting situation is he was traded away for a 4th or 5th round pick or whatever it was. And it showed how much they did not like the guy.
Yeah, there was something that was going on there. So they made their decision, but it is a revenge game. However, this is the defense segment, so we've only been talking about Amari Cooper. How does the defense stop Cooper? And look, we're playing against Deshaun Watson. We're playing against Cooper, Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
So they don't have Nick Chubb, but Jerome Ford, he held his own last year as a running back in the backfield. So, and they do have a David Njoku. He's been playing very well. Look, guys, to be honest, the Browns, they're a good team. They've got Defensive Player of the Year. They've got a quarterback who can move. So it's not like you can just game plan for him to be in the pocket. There's a couple of options that are both first-round pick wide receivers and, decent run game and really good defense.
Well,
what are we going to do to stop these guys?
Would have been a little better if Chubb was healthy, right? He's still out for another month or so.
Yeah, here comes Jerome Ford for 150 on your ass.
Yeah, don't sleep. Don't sleep.
Don't sleep on Jerome. He did it last year, dude. Yeah. Or was Chubb had the injury last year?
Yeah.
And Ford came in and had a couple great games.
Yep.
Tried to rely on him in fantasy. Didn't quite work out toward the end of the year.
Yep.
But I don't like this Browns makeup on this team because they got put over a barrel by Deshaun Watson,
who has a shoulder injury.
He showed a few flashes. There are a few Deshaun Watson Browns highlights, but there's
no moment where there's no consistency with Watson.
Yeah, he's been really
here's a question: has Deshaun Watson been good?
No, not from my perspective. He's been way too inconsistent. He's had low lights instead of highlights, and he just he's not, in my opinion, a leader leading that team or a big voice in the locker room. That's my opinion. I don't know. I'm not there, but from his past and his unwillingness to be the voice of that franchise, or maybe they don't want him to be. I don't see him out there making interviews like Dak does. When Dak goes out there, he's very self-deprecating. He owns everything out there that happens with the offense. I don't see that kind of thing happening with Deshaun Watson. And when you have guys out there like the skill players that they have, I think it's just a volatile situation that's not going to end well this year.
Yeah. So they've got
Dangerous, though.
They've got Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore. It's actually a decent little squad there. David Njoku, and then Myles Garrett on the other side that we got to worry about. But
the defense is what we have to worry about, not the
Yeah.
offense.
yeah, exactly. So, all right. I just wanted to pull their roster up real quick. Not too scared. It's an outdoor stadium. Weather's projected to be clear, so nothing too crazy there. And then just a real quick shout out, Brandon Aubrey. I heard he kicked a 66-yarder the other day.
Would have tied the NFL record had it been a regular season game.
And it was good from 71 or something.
Something like that.
According to the analytics.
Oh, yeah. So
a lot of people were saying he should have been Rookie of the Year if there was a special teams category for such.
Well, I mean, we're talking about history could be made this year. Can you imagine McCarthy? First of all, here's something very plausible. We're down by 2. McCarthy messes up the time clock, the clock management, and now we're stuck kicking a 71-yard field goal.
Oh my God! Yeah,
like this exact scenario is why you have a big leg because
of McCarthy.
It's the only way you can overcome.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can overcome a McCarthy fumble timeout mistake, and all of a sudden it's like, sorry, we could have run one more play, but I was eating a hot dog on the sideline with Mark Sanchez, and I missed it. So now we have to kick a 71-yard field goal. Guess what? We got a guy freaking do that. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
By the way, this was supposed to be Tom Brady's debut for calling his first NFL game.
Oh,
but
that's right.
it's still going through approvals with his ownership of the Raiders.
I love that.
He can't be a part of any meetings, nothing like that.
This guy make enough money in his damn career to not be part owner of a franchise? I mean, and he's going to be in broadcasting. He's coming back next year. I'm putting 100. I can put all my money on it. He's going to be back in a uniform.
Hey,
next
we're
year,
doing
I
hot
promise.
takes later, Dave.
Okay, all right.
All right, so let's get a score prediction for this week versus the Cleveland Browns. Let's see. I'm going with 33-27 Cowboys because, look, I can't tell you a difference between this season and last season. For me, we lost Bland, insert Diggs, right?
Yeah.
That's 1 for 1. Our defense is the same except for, yes, we lost Gilmore. All right, fine. We need to figure out what to guard Jerry Jeudy with, but put Diggs on Amari Cooper, and after that, we'll figure it out. And I think our offense can get it done because our offense is the same as last year. And multiple years in a row, we've been one of the leading offenses in the entire NFL. So I don't think there's going to be a big drop-off. I think we can keep producing. This is the same core that we've had, whereas the Browns, they're still trying to get their footing no matter what you want to say. What's your prediction?
So I'm going to go with a lower scoring affair. I think Zimmer has had a great influence on this set of dudes here. I think we're going to see a game that's like 24-20. And I think it's going to be tight till the very end. And I think they're going to have to make a stand at the end. But I just do not see that happening against this defense. When it's that close and they got to pass, they got to get points on the board, I think Parsons is going to take advantage. I think Zimmer knows how to use him. Dan Quinn was a little too cute with him a lot. And I think that's the only downside from Dan Quinn's defense was that it just didn't use the personnel right and put some weird guys out there. But I think that changes with Zimmer. 24-21. 24-20.
Man, I think you guys are giving the Browns offense way too much credit.
Okay.
27-13 Cowboys victory here. Like you said, the Browns defense is going to keep them under 30. I think we're probably going to get a defensive score or close to it to set us up for an easy one. And then I think Myles Garrett will probably have 2.5 sacks. That's my prediction from the Browns. Amari Cooper will probably have a couple big plays too.
All right, so that's our prediction for week 1. But because it's the beginning of the season, we want to get our full takes out there, guys. We're going to go through the schedule.
Let's do it.
And we want to see how we feel about each win individually. All right, so let's start with week 2. We just did week 1. We got us beating the Browns.
Everyone had Cowboys, right?
Yeah, everyone had the Cowboys. So let's go ahead to week 2. We've got Cowboys versus the New Orleans Saints. I've got a W, landslide victory. How about y'all?
We're talking Spencer Rattler-led Saints? Okay,
After week 1,
I will take the Cowboys to win this game.
Yeah, that's a dub for me too.
Yeah.
2-0.
This is at home, guys. This is our first home game. We're winning this.
By the way, we're saving our hot takes. I'm going to save my hot takes.
Okay. Hold up.
All right.
Don't blow it. All right. Week 3, we got a real match.
Alex,
Baltimore
I hear
Ravens.
The Ravens are your backup.
Yeah, hey,
team?
my grandma was just here the other day, and hey, she's from Baltimore. I like the Ravens, but hey, Cowboys are my team.
Don't say it with a chest. The Ravens are going to beat the Cowboys in Week 3.
Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP. You don't just get 2-time MVP out of nowhere, guys.
How about almost 2-time voted on MVP?
So Dak was the runner-up MVP. All right, it's tough. This is going to be a shootout, but the Ravens have a good defense. I'm not even going to call it sneaky. They're consistently good on defense. They've got Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, year 2 of Zay Flowers. Guess what? Derrick Henry. We got to deal with that.
I think the coaching is going to be different.
Cowboys are actually notoriously bad interior run defense. So,
if you guys didn't know, the Cowboys have only had one victory over the Baltimore Ravens in franchise history. I think they're going to get. They're not going to get another one.
I can remember
not today, not this season.
Yeah, okay.
Super Bowl.
Agreed.
I don't think that's my hot take, but
2-1.
All right, so we're 2-1 right now. All right, New York Giants 3-1. On to the next. Pittsburgh Steelers.
That was quick. You guys didn't even ask me.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I think Danny Dimes goes off for 4. No, that's
Danny Dimes.
All right.
Over himself.
Next. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers. Never had a losing season under Mike Tomlin. How do we do here?
I think Cowboys lose or win this game. Sorry. I think they win this game. I don't like the quarterback situation. It's too big of a deal.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. He's still going to be battling Justin Fields at this point.
I'm with you there. All
right, so Week 6, Lions are potential Super Bowl contenders according to a lot of people. They're led by Amon-Ra St. Brown, second year Sam Laporta, and Jared Goff just got extended. They've got Jahmyr Gibbs, who's second year player as well on offense, and decent defense. Aiden Hutchinson, I think maybe in his third year on the defensive line there. I still don't think they have as much talent as the Dallas Cowboys, though. I'm taking the Cowboys here. So for me, I'm feeling pretty good. How do you feel
think
about
5-1 after this week? I think 4-2 after this week, because talk about a revenge game. The Lions absolutely fumbled the bag. I'll say that at the very least against the Cowboys at the end of the year last year. Dan Campbell had to go up to the podium and say that that's how they wanted to how to play. They absolutely made the most boneheaded thing I've ever seen happen, to have a penalty and then still go for 2. I don't think they're going to do that this time. I don't think it's going to come down to a bad decision like that. I think they're going to be that motivated, and I think the Cowboys will be out of steam here a little bit, maybe looking at the bye week. And I'm going to call that a loss.
The Cowboys should have lost last year, so I'm going to go with you there on that one. I say that they're not going to do the what was it, illegal substitution or whatever happened.
Oh, yeah.
Eligible. I'm eligible.
All right, so right now, y'all are saying
4-2 is our
2 losses. 4-2 is a consistent. Then we got a week 7 bye to marinate.
That's a dub.
This can't lose.
You can't lose on bye.
But that's 2 weeks to prepare for the San Francisco 49ers revenge game. The ultimate, this is just the team that is our NFC rival that this is the team we have to beat if we want to make it all the way. But Niners, this is going to be at Levi Stadium on the road. For me, it's going to come down to health if all those guys are healthy at that point. But they've got the better team. I'm going Niners in that spot. So.
Same.
I don't
even want to watch this game. I don't even want to watch this game.
I'm going opposite. I'm pretty sure the Cowboys are good in the regular season against the 49ers. Typically, these West Coast games, these are kind of weird for the Cowboys, but I've seen them win in the regular season.
And they got a bye.
Years.
Yeah,
they're coming off a bye, so I'm going to give it to the boys.
I like it. I don't think they win, but
and you got to outnumber Joe.
Close.
You got to outnumber Joe, so we're going to go.
Yeah, we're going to go with a loss on that one. That makes it 4-3.
All right, 4-3. We've got.
I've got my individual predictions.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, let me hide these.
No one cares about our individual ones. So no one's going to go through and look at all our. Let's just take one of the podcasts.
So
all
here,
right, 4-3.
Falcons. Falcons
in the dome.
Bijan, hook 'em.
Yeah, Homer. So Brandon Aubrey's going to go off here in the dome, and I think Cowboys got him. This is a young Falcons team. I'm pretty sure Cowboys can handle business here.
I don't know when the last time Kirk Cousins beat the Dallas Cowboys, going back to his Washington days.
Ooh.
I want to say maybe once, maybe nothing.
That last Vikings game against the Cowboys was rough for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Look, you just said Is Justin Fields still going to be playing, or the backups for whatever these teams are?
I guess we don't know.
We
right?
might see Michael Penix in this game. Guys,
maybe so.
Kirk Cousins is coming off an Achilles injury. This is week 9. Who knows if he can even make it that long, right?
Tom Brady may be back in the league at this point, for all we know.
So let's call
him a dub.
Let's call it 5-3.
All right,
5-3.
So
the dirty birds to the dirtiest birds.
Oh God,
the gross.
At
birds.
home though, at home.
I got to give him a dub on this one. He's going to come out right at the break.
I think we'll beat the Eagles as well. That first matchup.
Do you have 50-50 split?
I do. I have us winning one and losing one.
Okay,
that's what I do too.
All right, so I'm going to count this as the win, but our total will be the same. When it's all said and done, I'm gonna give it to us at home.
So that's what 6-3.
We'll do 6-3. We'll count this as the win. 6-3, and then Houston Texans. So we're staying in Texas.
We're playing in Dallas.
And look, Texans, they had a nice story with the rookie season. I'm a big fan of CJ Stroud and all of the weapons they've got, adding Stephon Diggs and all of that. But I still think the defense is actually where we can come out ahead on this matchup, because we've got the ability of Michael Parsons to really put the pressure on CJ Stroud. He's not a mobile quarterback, not immobile, but I think Parsons can get to him and really disrupt and put some pressure on him.
Those guys are besties, right? They got a podcast.
Oh, God,
I don't know if you watched
them
this offseason, but it's amazing stuff between those two guys. I'd love to see Parsons take this guy out.
I think we're going to win this one. I think we're going to win this one, but also we didn't acknowledge we're going to have Deron Bland back by.
So essentially he's only out for 4 games, right? Because
he's out 4 or 5 games. It depends. They'll probably play it safe.
Yeah.
But against that secondary, I don't think CJ Stroud is going to have as much success. I take Cowboys.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because someone's going to get injured. But if Deron Bland's coming in, we have reinforcements that are quality coming in. Deron Bland led the league. I think broke the record for interceptions this past season.
I'm trying to blank. What's the name of the rookie who's going to take his place? He's wearing number 21.
Carson?
That was just announced.
Kalen Carson.
Carson, yeah.
Okay.
And he's supposed to be.
He looks good. I'm not gonna.
He should be serviceable.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a Diggs coming out of college.
Sure.
But neither did Bland. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. So, So next matchup.
That's also the 7-3 now.
Oh, record wise, 7-3.
7-3.
And next matchup, we've got the Washington Commanders. I think this is revenge game against Dan Quinn.
I love a revenge.
There's some storylines.
Yeah,
a bunch of ex-players.
Yeah,
Alfred Morris with them. Who's coming with?
Yeah,
is Alfred Morris going to be on the Cowboys sideline? Or the
oh my God, dude! Dan Quinn poached every single Cowboys player he could, and I don't blame him. There's some talent there, but look, they've got a rookie quarterback. This will be week 12, though. I'm shocked that we're playing them so late in the season. This is the first game we're playing against.
Yeah.
So I'm going to still give it to the Cowboys. I'm giving both of the wins.
I will too. I will too for sure.
Yep.
Sorry, Dan Quinn.
Yep. And next we got our Thanksgiving matchup here.
Giants. That's another win. All right, keep it moving.
That's a dub. So that makes us go from we were 8-3 and now 10-3. Are we now 10-3 after this? No. It's just 9-3.
All right. 9-3. You're right though. Thanksgiving matchup. So we'll all be watching this one. But
get your gravy
I just
ready.
don't think this is the Giants season. They still need to figure out their quarterback situation.
All
right.
One here.
Okay, Bengals at home. Cooper Rush beat these guys once upon a time.
At home.
I mean, I think they lose this game.
Okay.
I got to look at what we know is that the Bengals should be. If they're healthy, the Cowboys tend to, in these big moment games, have trouble with opponents that actually have good skill, and I think that's where this goes the other way for the Cowboys. They've won these other games coming off of them, and that's great. But this is a short turnaround week, I believe, right?
No, actually, it's the long break.
Okay. Thursday
because
to Monday.
We have 5 games or 2 games in 5 days.
I'm still going to give the Cowboys a loss on this one. If for no other reason than if you look at the season as a whole, this is one of your biggest opponents.
There's always a game or two where it's like, the Cowboys should have won that one and at home, and I'm gonna go with you, Dave.
All right,
the Bengals.
Let's keep it moving. Carolina Panthers
9-4 now.
Hey, I love my Carolina people, but that's over.
They're gone 10-4.
Yeah. Panthers.
So, all right, now we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who used to have the Panthers OC, who's now the Panthers head coach, Dave Canales. Bucks versus Cowboys. Cowboys at home. I'm going to give it to the home team.
Last time we played Tampa Bay, we retired Tom Brady, no?
Yeah, we did. It was actually hard for us to get over the hump, and then we finally got him right there at the end. And
yep, so that's the game.
Not too worried about Baker.
Yeah,
that's
11
for me.
Yeah, I think
we're at 11.
Four losses so far, so I think it's 11-4.
So 2 games left. Eagles. This is the one I have counted as a loss on the road.
I count as a loss too.
This is a loss for me.
All right, and then Commanders we have as a win. So that's another consecutive 12-5 season. It doesn't matter.
I've got 13-4 for the record.
Okay, but look at that, 12-5. We've had 12-5 the last 2 seasons, so this isn't coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, and there's going to be trials and tribulations to the season. So some of the things we think will go well will not. Some of the people who we think will be injured are not injured will end up getting injured. So, you take let's say Joe's got 13-4. Let's say I've got, we've got 12-5, or even if I had 11 and 6 or whatever, this team's going to be in the playoff hunt at the end. Losing that Eagles game may have serious consequences. I just do not think the Eagles are who they were 3 years ago. They're not.
So is that the last? Is that the last?
Yeah,
one?
that's the last game. So we got 12-5.
Yeah, let's go through.
Let's do the predictions. Yeah. So all right, look, the NFC East. Who's going to win the NFC East? We haven't seen a consecutive NFC East winner, which was the Cowboys last season, but since 2016, I believe, or maybe
it's
way earlier.
20 years.
Way earlier. There hasn't been a back-to-back winner. So based on odds, it will not be the Cowboys. So who do you have winning the NFC East?
I'm taking Cowboys to win the NFC East. I don't think the Eagles are going to be. I don't think the last game of the season is going to matter.
Going against history.
Breaking a trend is what you're calling.
Breaking a trend.
Is that your hot?
I think it's just a down year for them. They're going to go get good players next offseason. They may even trade for someone midseason this year. They're good at bringing people in, but they're not good at keeping guys healthy and good long term. And I think that's where it's going to bite them this year, where it's just going to be kind of a slight turnover year this year. They're going to be right back in it next year, I think.
I'm predicting the Eagles actually take the division this year, just based off those historical facts. I don't know. I see the Cowboys getting in the playoffs, but not winning the division this year.
And
they kind of got lucky with the Eagles' collapse last year.
Yeah, that's a big.
But that's
sign,
history.
Though,
that's history just coming out of nowhere. It's like, oh, you thought the Eagles were going to break the trend? Nope. So if you're putting money down, I would be picking the Eagles. That's my pick, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean we can't both make the playoffs. And we've got playoff predictions. So
Believe me, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. So I'm still predicting the Cowboys make it as a wild card. 12-5, and I do think Eagles will be up there in wins as well. I think Cowboys will make it. Who do you think can win as the NFC just champs in general?
I'm not going to think too hard about it. It's 49ers.
Okay. They re-signed Brandon Ayuk. They've been a few times in the past 4 years or so. So
their time is coming, but it's not this year.
I'm going to go with the Lions.
Okay.
Coming out to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I just feel like they took some lumps last year, on their way up. I think they're finally ready to get over that hump and make some noise. Maybe Dan, maybe Dan, he learned a lesson or two there. But I think the Lions have got it going forward.
Yeah. And look, I do like was
said Dan Quinn. I meant Dan Campbell. But
yeah,
another ex-Cowboy.
Yeah. Hey, but my prediction actually is Cowboys win the NFC.
Yes, let's go. We're all rooting for that.
Because guess what? Cowboys have potentially the number one defensive player in the NFL. We have potentially the number one wide receiver in the NFL. We have the MVP runner-up, who this next season could actually end up winning the MVP.
Contract year.
Prescott, who's in a contract year.
Keep talking dirty, Alex.
Yeah, I'm hitting the right.
I think we'll all take. I don't care if I'm wrong.
But does that make sense? I mean, look, we have some of the best players in the league. We have the worst run game, but that's it. That's kind of the big flaw.
I don't buy that they didn't get better or that they got worse necessarily. I just don't think that they have the the skins on the wall and the confidence in the players in those big moments. Now, it's not that I think that they crumble. It's just really difficult. And Mike McCarthy I think he's a worse coach than he was before. And I don't think that's like he barely kind of got one championship out of Aaron Rodgers, which they had a great year and it was a great run. But I just think that this coaching staff is going to probably be somewhere else next year.
Yeah, it's a crazy year how they're managing all this in the front office. Everyone's basically on a 1-year deal, so it's go big or go home. That's kind of why I'm leaning on. Let's see if our guys actually step up and rise to the occasion. And before we get out of here, I wanted to get
AFC and Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I want to get to who do you have as the AFC champ? Who's gonna win out of the AFC?
Oh man, this is a tough one.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
I think this is my hot take, by the way. This is the year the Ravens
Let's
break
go!
through. A lot of people are saying this is the Michael Jordan type of era for Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people tough to get past.
Quarterbacks don't get worse at his age.
Super Bowl, but I think this is the year that the Ravens, Lamar
love
Jackson, he learned some lessons too in the playoffs. He's good enough, obviously, to take that next level. I think the Ravens did level up on all around.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be Lions versus Ravens in the Super Bowl.
All right, I love that prediction, man. And for me, I think this might be Travis Kelce's final season. So for me, I'm thinking they're going to get the three-peat. Travis Kelce retires off into the sunset. So that's kind of how I see it playing out.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly how I see it.
So what's the Super Bowl prediction?
I think it's Chiefs over 49ers. And I think it's pretty decidedly a Chiefs victory.
Well, I'm going with the Ravens winning.
All right.
That would be pretty sweet. I want to see some shakeup, but yeah.
You have any additional hot takes?
Yeah, that was Joe's hot take.
That was my hot take.
Yeah. For me, I've got CeeDee Lamb Offensive Player of the Year.
I'd say that's less of a hot take than more like an accurate prediction.
Okay, so yeah, what about accolades? Who do you have as Offensive Player of the Year? CeeDee? It was CMC, Christian McCaffrey last season.
Man, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott. Maybe this is the year something crazy. Maybe this is my hot take. Why don't Brandon Ayuk get it? Why not? The guy just got signed. It shows the 49ers put a lot of faith in this guy.
The hottest take.
This is a Cowboys show. I don't want to hear about that. No.
Hey, there's a hot take for you because what am I going to say? CeeDee Lamb? You just said CeeDee Lamb.
Hey, well, look.
Zeke Elliott, 1,000 yards rushing could have been
a hot take. Fuck it. Let's go Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, MVP.
All right. Hey, that's what I want to hear.
I like it.
That's what I want to hear. All right. So, guys, hey, this has been the Cowboys Uncovered. Hey, like I said, we're going to be here all season long. And look, it hasn't even been week 1 yet. Next week, we'll be here with the week 1 recap. There's going to be a lot to uncover. So, let us know what you're thinking in the comments. And we can't wait to see you next time. Hey, I'm Alex at Dynasty FKey on Twitter.
I'm Big D at Cowboys Fan David on Twitter.
Sports Guy Joe Garcia 73. See you guys next week. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.